Typically we blame Aaron or Steven, but you took one for him there.
I'll take the
Appreciate
blame.
that. Tell me when you guys are ready.
I'm going.
Multiple mics today. Yeah, they're impressive. So just wanted to take a chance to get with you guys this week. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions about bills that we're going to be running through the committee, and I'll try to do the best I can to give any guidance on that. Just wanted to talk about a few bills that I think are going through that are part of some of the ideas that we talked about before session. As you know, I've been making a lot of statements and conversations about looking to the federal government to get more power for the state of Iowa when it comes to things like Medicaid, work requirements, also looking at our SNAP bill. So we have two bills that are going to be going through the process this week that I think are extremely important as part of that conversation. We're also going to be a bill that I expect to come out of Judiciary Committee requiring local law enforcement to work with ICE. Obviously, immigration is a policy that you guys have asked me a lot about, and I said I didn't know what those policies may look like as we move forward. I think that's one that I can point to try to address that. And then also this week, my expectation would be looking at a bill as well when it comes to age verification for pornographic websites. So that's going to be another bill I see moving through the process. I just come out today with those as a few that I didn't have price and clarity in some of our earlier conversations that I wanted to just flag for you guys as they move through the process as things I see that our caucus needs to be considering as we move forward. So,
Should we expect a debate on SSA this week, or how are negotiations going?
yeah, we're still having conversations with the Senate and the governor. We've been pretty clear, I think, from the House perspective, as I've been sharing with the Senate and the governor, that we feel pretty strongly about the package of items that we've put together. At some point, I think that could resolve itself with maybe some of those things, deciding what should be a part of the conversation moving forward, what shouldn't be. At this point in time, the feedback I've gotten from our caucus is they want us to hold strong in our position. And so as a leader, that's kind of the position that I've taken, and we'll see how that plays itself out. As we've been talking to a lot of local school districts, they've been asking questions what that looks like. We don't know at this point. Obviously, the Senate and the governor being at 2, I think a lot of schools are making decisions at 2, but we're holding tight at this point because we feel strongly about some of those other items as well as the SSA and the package that we have.
Since you mentioned the Medicaid work requirements bill, the governor said at the beginning of session that she would just go ahead and move forward without the legislature. Basically, are you telling her that you want the legislature just to happen through legislation rather than her just doing it on her own?
I think we haven't designed. I don't think as a caucus we've sat down and had that specific conversation with the governor which way we think is the right path. I think we are also taking it from the perspective legislatively. It's something that we were talking about before session that we want to continue to move forward as well. Whether the quickest way to get that done, whether it's the governor doing it, whether it's through our bill, I think we just want to make sure that it's something that does get done, and we know if we can pass a bill to do it, we'll at least get that formal request submitted through legislation as well.
How do you respond to criticism from Democrats arguing that, at least so far this session, it seems like Republicans have been concerned with social issues, what they see as culture war issues, but haven't seen a whole lot of movement in their view on pocketbook issues, lowering costs for Iowa?
Yeah, and I won't turn towards you, Tom, I'm not ignoring you, but I think that falls into some of the things we're looking at. We're getting to that point in session where obviously the budget conversation will be starting to heat up. Also, the tax conversation is going to start heating up. As I said before session, we're going to be looking at policies that would also try to decrease costs when it comes from sales tax on different daily used items for our constituents. Also looking at some potential tax credits that would also benefit families when it comes to young children. So we're kind of getting to that point in session, and I wouldn't say it's any different than other sessions where those pieces of policy start to move forward as the tax conversation and the budget conversation start to happen. So I think you're going to see those starting to get more focus as we move forward.
Leader Confer said during last Thursday's debate that she'd seen arm twisting. Can you tell us, did you warn any members of your caucus that they might either lose committee chairmanships or possibly see bills they strongly support not get through the funnel if they didn't vote for that gender identity bill?
Yeah, I would say that that's not the case by any means what's happening. I know that there's always speculation how things end up happening. That's why we released that bill, spent a lot of time on it from the standpoint of caucusing as a group, deciding to reach a conclusion that we had the votes to move it forward. None of the tactics that I like to use as leader, I came from the committee chair side instead of leadership side, never appreciated that kind of behavior from any sort of leadership. Not to say that that was rampant, but that wasn't something that I necessarily would have liked to see as a committee chair, so I've tried not to ever have to implement those kinds of things when it comes to any sort of consequence or repercussions.
What was the urgency to pass that bill last week? Obviously, it was introduced and moved forward all through in the course of a week. I mean, was there a specific reason why you felt like it had to happen?
Well, I think that, keep in mind that as we went through the process, we released a bill. It went through the entire weekend. We followed all the proper channels when it comes to subcommittees, committee notices. We even requested our own public hearing. I think if you look at how the bill was done originally when it was put in, and I was here, I was one of the only 2 members in the whole building that was here for that original conversation. Keep in mind, there was a call of the House where the State Patrol was utilized to get members in here to take a vote. We felt that we followed all the proper channels to go through filing and passing any sort of piece of legislation. But ultimately, as you saw, the lawsuit, for example, just being filed last week, or 2 weeks ago, it would have been against our 2023 bathroom bill. I think it was, you look at what has been happening in this and the court cases that have been happening, how we've been losing them. I think so we didn't jeopardize further consequences to the bathroom bill, to the girls' sports bill that we passed a few years ago. We felt there was a level of urgency so we could make sure we can ensure those. And keep in mind, we campaigned in almost every single district on protecting those issues. And like I said, a lawsuit was even recently filed against the 2023 bathroom bill. So those things were actually what we felt like were under attack. And so that's why I would say that there was a sense of urgency.
Why not put an immediate effective date on that?
As we had those conversations, just making sure that we could have proper implementation through the Civil Rights Division and all that, we felt that that was the proper way for us to go. That was one of the conversations that took place, but we kind of landed on the effective date that we did. Nothing else for me? All right, well, we'll see what the rest of the week looks like, and maybe we'll get together again the rest of the week. Just wanted to lay out a few things as this week gets started. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.